Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do Leetcode weekly challenge. Second question, maximum score after applying key operation. So let us first read this question, then we'll check for constraint and finally coding part for the same. So here's the question. You are given 0 index integer array nums and an integer k. You have a starting score of 0. In one operation, choose an index I such that it is greater than 0 and less than nums dot length, increase your score by nums of I and replace the nums of I with the seal of nums of I by 3. And then return the maximum possible score you can attain after applying key operations in the manner which are being written here. And then next informational thing is the sealing function seal val is the least integer greater than or equal to 1. So these are the things which we are required to do in this particular question. Basically, the question says about that we are required to figure out with that terms of I which is greater and just add that particular to our final score and then replace that nums of I with the seal of nums of I by 3, and then again we are required to check that out of all of them which is the greatest so that we can add that to our score and again perform the same operation. And why we are figuring out with the greater, because in the question it is mentioned maximum score after applying the key operation. So here about the constraint, here we can see it's 10 raised to the power 5. So basically we can use order of n log n solution as well, and even order of n means either of them. And about the space complexity, if you are using any data structure, then that would be used accordingly. So, and it's a 10 raised to the power 9. That simply means that after adding up those scores, it could exceed that integer, maximum integer value. So that's why we are required to use long int rather than just using int. Now, let us go ahead. Please, as I explained you question, one thing was in you would have got in mind that what data structure we can use. So basically, here we are required to use the max priority queue. So in that context, we will be having the greatest element at the top that we can pop out and use for our scoring, and then replacing these for replacement of the same as we popped out. Now that particular is not in our what we say priority queue, right? So instead of that, we are required to insert nums of I by 3. So that's the thing which we will be doing here. Now here, this is the coding part for the same. Uh, Here we have taken the priority queue in PQ. Basically in C++, the priority queue is actually made of max heap. So that's why by default it would be showing the nature that maximum element is at the top. Then here we have taken long int score equal to 0 and temp equals to 0. Why? We have used long int because it's up to 10 raised to power 9 means after adding up, it can exceed the integer highest limit. So that's why I've directly taken it as long int. Then here we are inserting all the elements of nums into a priority queue. And then basically here we are performing those key operation until k exists. Till then we will be storing whatever there is at the top of a priority queue, adding that to the score, and then popping that from the priority queue. And then finally, we will be pushing whatever would be the seal of temp slash 3, temp divided by 3. So by doing this, we will be able to do all the operations which are mentioned k times, and then at the end we are required to return the score, and this is how we will be getting our required answer. So now comes the part for the time complexity and the space complexity. So here as we are using this priority queue, and it will be storing all the elements which are there, right? So that's why space is order of n. But now comes the part about the time complexity. So here this operation is being performed k times. Um, yeah, this operation is being performed k times, but the elements which are inside of my priority queue that are basically n, right? So that's why the time complexity becomes log of n into k. And one more thing is that here it was order of n, right? So basically the overall time complexity is order of n plus k times log of n. So this is our time complexity, and the space complexity is order of n. That is because we are pushing all these elements, means n elements into our priority queue, means basically order of n extra space is being used. So let me write this here. So here the time complexity is order of n plus order of n into log of, no, no, order of k into log of n, because k time we are rearranging the same. And the space complexity is basically order of n only. So this was all for this particular question. Now comes the part that as you're already trying these Leetcode bi-weekly and weekly challenges, you can also figure out with the Newton School contest, about which you can figure out about the link in the description below and check all the details for the same. So yeah, this was all for this particular video. If you have any doubt, you could comment that doubt. And yeah, this was all. Thank you.